Go. All right, great. So, conditioning ropes 101. I call them conditioning ropes. They're more commonly known as battle ropes. But there's not a lot out there that helps to organize the different types of battle rope variations with some sense of progression or some sense of understanding what the different sport-specific applications might be if you want to go that route. So I break it up into 3 categories of conditioning rope variations, 3 patterns. And these are 3, what I consider to be 3 distinct means of generating the kinetic energy and transferring that kinetic energy from your pelvis through your core and arms into the ropes and generating some sort of effect on the ropes, which is usually a type of a wave. So there's your pump waves, there's your twist waves, and there's your tosses. One of the biggest problems that I see when people are using these ropes is that they don't get the amount of slack right. So there's too much tension on the rope, not enough slack. So tension one way, slack the other. You want to split that, find that sweet spot for each variation where you're not able to lean back and hang back off the ropes, but you're also able to generate an effect that goes all the way down to the anchor. So the idea here with all these techniques is that it's pelvis core driven, and it's not robotic arms. It's not designed to gas your shoulders and your biceps, really be a full body, very metabolic, very triplanar. You choose your buzzword, but it's all of that. Okay, so let's take a look at the first pump wave.
Hey, strong movers. I'm Scott Wilson for Strong Move Fitness, and this is the next in our series on conditioning ropes. So today we're talking about how to hold the ropes, how to get yourself set up properly. There's 2 basic ways of holding the ropes. Your standard grip, which has the slack heading in the same direction as your thumb, and then there's the reverse grip, which has the slack going in the opposite direction of your thumb. So it's very important that you know which way to handle or hold these ropes for each exercise. Another important thing about setting up for each variation on the conditioning ropes is knowing how much slack you want. So there's definitely a sweet spot. I don't want to be back here for my variation because I've got too little slack. I'm hanging back off the ropes. I also don't want to be in here unable to generate an effect all the way down to the anchor because of too much slack. It's pulling at my feet. It's a tripping hazard. It's dangerous. So you've got to find that balance, usually where the slack sort of hits the floor. That's as a starting point where your toes want to be. This is the appropriate amount of slack. All right, so that's your setup. Hey strong movers, this is Scott Wilson with Strong Move Fitness, continuing our series on conditioning ropes. So we already talked about the 3 basic types of generating the kinetic energy that are going to cause an effect in these ropes. So let's break down the first one of those, your pump waves. This is a pumping action from predominantly your knees. This is not a hip hinge driven action. This is not what we're trying to do here. This is what we're trying to do here. Using the coordination of your ankles, hips, and knees to generate an up-down pumping action like the pistons in an engine of a car. So, how you do this is set your feet about shoulder width apart, slightly turned out. You get down into your athletic position where you're ready with hip and knee flexion. Just get that pumping going. Just feel the groundedness through your feet. The heels can lift off a little bit like it's a small hop. That's fine. And then you add the whip down the arms. It's not you're not trying to put the accent on the up. You're trying to put the accent on the down, like your arms are the end of a whoosh whip that your pelvis is cracking. Okay? So you get the pumping going, then you get the whipping going, and now this is a full body action that is very challenging. So you can get your heart rate spiked very quickly, and it's great, super metabolic, great for Tabata timing. So that is your would say the first variation I would teach. Have fun. Hey strong movers, this is Scott Wilson with Strong Move Fitness coming at you in the next series in our series, of conditioning rope tutorials. So after you have firm grasp on the pump waves, you would then go to what I call the twist wave. So this is not a pumping piston action. Now we're going to lock the pelvis in place in that athletic position, feet shoulder width apart, turned out slightly, hips and knees slightly bent, so you're down here in your what I call a quarter or a half squat position. But instead of pumping with hips and knees, now I'm going to torque my trunk, right? Like so. So it's all about keeping the pelvis locked still in space and letting the trunk muscles turn the shoulders. How I have clients initially practice this is stacking the hands on the sacrum here and just trying to get a tight twisting action like so. Then free the hands and chop, chop, chop with the pinky side, chop, chop, chop the inner thighs. These are two preparatory drills that help with the coordination. Then we load it. And you're looking for stillness of the pelvis, that tight rotation of the spine, and then the effect on the ropes is these even, small